My Wi-Fi just decided to cut out. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. But at least we had the qualifying in a separate stream. Hopefully that doesn't happen during the race. That is slightly concerning now. Hopefully we won't be struck with this kind of problem again. Oh, that is annoying. But yeah, hopefully that won't happen. Oh, and Wyatt starting in 8th now because of his 5th-place grid penalty. Thank you, Will, because the Wi-Fi just cut out. Where are you going? Shop. Have fun. Everyone, Will's going to the shop. Anyway, Paga is going to be leading us around as we're already in turn 10. Just a couple turns to go. That is turn 11 and 12. They're not really turns, you have to admit. It pretty much opens out onto the straight from there. Here we go then, towards the line. To start 35 laps here at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada, for round 7 of the ILR3 Season 6 Championship. It's going to be a good one. Let's get ready as Paga lines up on the grid. He is on the soft tyres. In fact, let's have a quick look at the tyres. Everyone's starting on some on the medium, some on the softs. Couple on the hards. Both of the Williams, actually. The only drivers starting on the hards. Anyway, let's get ready for 35 laps of the drivers that line up onto the grid. Here we go then. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights are out and away we go here in Canada. A bit of wheel spin for the Toro Rosso. That's been a bad stop for him as side by side goes the 3 wide nearly into turn 1 as it's Deneen and Lewis side by side. Lewis has been knocked wide and that's going to give Droppier the opportunity to get past him. Dougie Falcons not doing too well and that's Alice Killer, I think, not having a good start. Here comes the Ginger 21-21 boxed in by QVR Campbell and Alice Killer as QVR tries to send it down the inside of Alice Killer. Alice in the barrier and that's damage for the Racing Point and side by side the Ginger going down the inside of the Fry and down the inside of Alice Killer. 2 overtakes in 2 turns. What a move there from the Rich Energy Haas. Can he keep it that way? Yes, he can. What a move there from the 2 drivers in towards turns 8 and 9 already. I'm already caught up in the action as it's not been good for Kryptonite, I don't think. He's side by side now with Lawmans as we head into turn 10. Can he get his nose in for an overtake? Down the inside he goes, no he doesn't, and that's Lawmans in the back of a Ferrari of QVR Campbell. That's heavy damage and that's all the way to the back of the order for him. That is really bad news for the Toro Rosso team as side by side goes Kryptonite and QVR Campbell. It looks like around the outside goes Campbell through the wall of champion chicane. Good move there. This is absolute fantastic racing as we're already on lap 2 of the race. Lawmans has retired from this session after speeding into the pit lane. That is not an ideal start for the Toro Rosso driver. And of course that has brought a premature end to the race. He is going to be very annoyed about that. Let's get into the rest of the race then. At the top, Lewis close to Droppier. Droppier will be looking to hold on to that position though. Of course, he wants to try and probably keep up his clean sweep of races so far this championship. But Lewis is just 0.2 of a second behind the Renault. And that was a bit of a corner cut for Verstappen there. I think we all saw that in the background. As Droppier's going to have to look in his mirrors because that McLaren is close behind. Deneen, he's having a good start unlike his teammate. Verstappen has been overtaken by Tomo in the into turn 10 through the hairpin, and we'll hop down to them because it's close between them. They're side by side, just 0.04 of a second between them. Down the inside goes Tomo into turn 13. This is going to be a good move. He's had to back off though, and he's given the position to the Ferrari, but Josh is right up the backside of Tomo now, heading in towards turn 1. Tomo is going to go round the outside to Verstappen, which will become the inside for turn 2. It doesn't look like he's managed it though. And Josh Mayer is going to go for the switchback on the Mercedes. Not quite, he's run wide. And Owen Wyatt tried to get his nose in there, but he's lost the position since the start of the race. And it's not been great there for him. He couldn't quite make the overtake. What a start then. Josh Mayer close behind Tomo, but also behind him is Owen. Owen is so close to the McLaren, he can nearly touch him as Josh Mayer can feel this McLaren breathing all down his neck as Kryptonite gets a 3-second time penalty. Spaghetti Chips overtakes QVR. Campbell. And that's Khan Racer out of the Grand Prix this evening, and virtual safety car has been deployed. Oh, goodness sake. No, I don't want to do this. What happened there then? And we got a nice view of the inside of that racing point. Spaghetti Chips so close behind. And that is a virtual safety car already deployed on lap 3, and that means the DRS deployment will be delayed. What a start. What a start. But Campbell and Kryptonite are going to be so close on the restart, as some drivers already electing to go straight into the pits. Interesting strategy call then from those drivers. Oh, my mouth is drying up faster than the Mojave Desert as Torpedro gets a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. We're green again, though, here in Canada. And it is close between these two drivers as Campbell hits the wall on the exit of turn 4. And that is damage as down the inside goes Kryptonite into turn 6. That's an unfortunate start for the Ferrari. Now there's a train forming behind Tomo as we head towards turns 8 and 9. Whoa, DRS is available as there's yellow flags in sector 2. It is so close behind these drivers. Let's get the telemetry up. That's telemetry. It's down the inside. Goes Josh Mayer on Tomo. Can he get the position? It looks like Owen's going to try and get in on the action as well. We're right on board with the Red Bull driver. And I've accidentally got rid of the interval time thingamajiggy as this DRS train is in full force. D43 Tomo's going to go round the outside into turn 13. Can he get the position on the McLaren? No, he can't. Josh Mayer's run deep through turn 14 though. And that could give Tomo the run he needs to make the overtake. He's going to move to the outside of the McLaren, which will become the inside line for turn 2. Not quite close enough, but he might be able to make the switchback work. Not quite as well either, so not able to make the overtake quite yet as Campbell goes into the pits. We'll go up to Dougie Falcons because he's close behind Lewis, but ahead of him Deneen is close behind Dropye. It is such an action-packed Grand Prix so far, so definitely stick with us because this is going to be very, very interesting. I can assure you that. Already lap 5 of 35, I've barely been able to catch a break. Apart from that brief period of the virtual safety car, as the yellow flags in sector 3 as Torpedro retires from the race. Already 3 DNS. Not brilliant, I'm going to admit. Lots of crashes, but the gap to first is only about 2.5 seconds. Look at that. Quick maths for you. Lewis 11004 as Dropye, he's got the DRS, but he's not going to be able to quite get close enough to Packard to make a move. As he heads towards turn 1 though, he might be able to. The green flag is being waved as the yellow flag's in sector 1. That means overtaking can't be taken as round the outside goes the Renault, and he's run deep into turn 2 and he's had to cut the corner, and that's 10 seconds for him. That is very bad news for the Renault driver, and he is not going to be happy about that. That is bad for Dropye and his chances of winning, and it's unlikely that he's going to be able to extend a 10-second gap. And Josh Mayer's had a crash, and that's Owen Wyatt out of the race there as one McLaren hits the Red Bull. Oh dear, yellow flags in sector 1. That is not good. Just about caught the tail end of that as Lewis is right up the chuff of Deneen. He's going to move to the outside as we head towards turn 10. They're going to be side by side. He might be able to go for a switchback move here unless he can get the overtake before the braking zone. No, he can't. They're side by side through turn 10 then. He's on the soft tyres, whereas Lewis is on the medium, but Lewis has got the position, and Dougie Falcons might be able to try and get something out of this. I don't think he's close enough to do anything there though. LR Deneen has got DRS, but so does Lewis, and this could be Dropye's move as he goes towards turn 13. Down the inside, he had a peak, but he's going to have to back off as there goes Paga into the pits. 10 seconds for Dropye though. He's going to be very annoyed about that, especially considering he's slowed down as well. But side by side go Dougie Falcons and LR Deneen into turn 1 then. Down the inside goes the Sauber Alfa Romeo, whatever you want to call it. I've forgotten the name. And he's got the position though, so that's him up into turn 3. Oh my goodness, we're already a fifth of the way through the race. This is absolutely intense, and my window is open, so anyone walking past, I hope you're enjoying this commentary. I think my whole street can probably hear me, to be fair. It's too hot though in the UK. I don't know why, but it's just been so hot though over the last couple of days. I had a rugby match yesterday, it was boiling. It was so hot we had to stop the match halfway through just because we needed water, and that was not the half-time break. I'm not an idiot, don't worry. Well, I say I'm not an idiot, but never believe anything anyone says, as there looks like damage to Verstappen. Yeah, we just saw a bit of front wing from that Ferrari in the background of the bottom right there. And I think that might have been end plate for Verstappen, and that is not good for him. He might get that replaced when he goes into the pits, but it probably isn't serious enough to warrant a pit stop in and of itself, unless he's on these softs, which is on the mediums. But here comes the Ginger, 21-21 down the inside into turn 13. Can he get the Mercedes? Yes, he can! What a move there from the Haas. Absolutely excellent driving. Verstappen has got damage though. I think it's only end plates, so nothing all too serious as the pit stops are beginning to happen. Lap 8 of 35. Those Williams can probably go quite a while. They are on the hards, remember, so they might be able to go into the softs and push for that fastest lap point at the end of the race as well. I'm not sure if they do fastest lap point in ILR actually. I have to wait and see, but my oh my, what a Grand Prix it's been. We've only got 16 runners left actually. We've already had 4 DNFs. Nearly said 5 there, and that 4 came out very weirdly. As Josh gets a 5-second penalty for spinning in the pit lane. Lots of people struggling with that pit lane entrance. It's so hard to master because you're going so fast, over 200 miles an hour into the pit lane entrance, and then you've got to brake super heavily, and it's just very hard to manage. Ooh, just got put in a Facebook group, but that's nothing to do with league racing, don't worry. Ooh. Someone sent a thumbs up. But anyway, let's get back to the race, because it is very close between the Ginger and Verstappen. This damage is really going to be hindering that Ferrari. He's not going to be too chuffed about that. Let's get the tyres up then, as Tomo decides to go into the pits. It is definitely time. Those softs can't really make it much further than 7 laps. It looks like lots of drivers are electing to go into the hard tyres, and they'll definitely be going to the end. There might be a 2-stop from 1 or 2 of the drivers though. Fastest lap from Paga there with a 1:11.9, just about though, and he might be in for a chance of a win. He's on the mediums, but I don't think they're going to go 28-ish laps if the softs can only go 7. But what do I know? Because the Ginger is trying to get past Verstappen towards turn 8. His back's off though. Got to keep it safe. This is a long race, remember. You don't want to ruin your race early on, because it's still got a fair distance to go. That's something we've got to remember when it comes to league racing. Oh, and I nearly dropped my phone, but luckily I dropped on a bed, so nothing too bad. The Ginger closing up like an extra set missile, but he's going to have to back off through turn 13 as Verstappen goes into the pits. Also, through turns 13 and 14, that the dirty air probably does not help the drivers. But in the background, we saw Kryptonite. He is not too far off Spaghetti Chips, so we might see something here. Although I don't think we're going to see anything too soon. Kryptonite then is in 4th. Can he get into that podium position before he has to pit? Spaghetti Chips is the only driver left who started on these soft tyres. Well, only driver left staying on those soft tyres. So if he can get those 10 laps, he can definitely stretch a pair of mediums all the way to the end. Because those mediums probably can do 25 laps. I'm not entirely sure. It's going to be close. It's going to be a lot of tyre management here. That's why so many drivers are going onto the hards, because it's quite a middle ground. But Josh Mayer setting a 1:11.1 on those medium tyres, which I believe are rather fresh. We'll have a look. Yeah, they're 3 laps old, so that's not too bad. Some decent pace from him, having had that incident just a few laps ago. But Kryptonite is really closing up to Spaghetti Chips. Those softs probably not as fast as the mediums due to wear, but the DRS is really going to help. And here comes Kryptonite as... Oh, that sounds rather horrible. Yeah, we're not going to ride on board with Kryptonite, unfortunately. But Spaghetti Chips did peel off into the pit lane there. But we're going to go to Deneen and QVR Kernbridge through turn 14 on the exit, keeping it out of the barriers. That's always good to see. Towards turn 1 then. Down the inside goes Deneen, heavy braking, and it looks like he's got the Williams. He's on hards, but they're 7 laps fresher, and it's enough to make the overtake there from Deneen. Good move from the Toro Rosso driver, the sole remaining Toro Rosso driver, I might add. And I'm going to have a quick look at the... I just had a quick look at the comments, but yeah, unlucky Owen. From what I can see, I don't think you can really blame yourself for that. It was unfortunate chain of events. I think what must happen was Josh span out, but down the inside it goes Tomo on Cohen, and Cohen might lose 2 positions here because Lewis is close behind. I'll get back to you in a second, Owen. As down the inside goes the McLaren drivers. They're side by side. He's got it under the braking. Excellent move there from Lewis. Of course, he's on tyres that are 2 steps softer, and that was inevitable, let's be honest. They're also 1 lap old. So Lewis definitely going for the 2-stop. But yeah, it's unfortunate. From what I could see, Josh must have spun out and then you hit him. Although I only really caught the tail end of the crash on the stream. So, I don't know. Or from what I can see anyway. But it is unfortunate, Owen, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the stream because Tomo is going to try and make an overtake on Lewis, on Deneen even. Down the inside there he goes. Lewis might try and get a switch back on the Toro Rosso though. He's on the soft tyres. He's had to back off from Deneen. And there we go. He's not going to be able to get that position. Yeah, that is unfortunate. Owen, sorry I'm having to blue screen you guys. As down the inside goes Lewis, and he's got the position on Deneen as well. Deneen dropping back like a brick through air. That is not ideal for the Toro Rosso driver, and he's not going to be too chuffed about that. Following this then, where is the next battle going to be? Looks like Paga might be in for a decent result here. He's in 4th. He's the top driver of all those who have pitted. And of course, Droppier has that 10-second time penalty as Paga passes Kryptonite like a javelin missile. Switching up the type of missiles this evening. That's me. And yeah, I don't even know what the missile comparison is, to be honest. But anyway, I'll continue. I need to think of another missile name now. But we'll keep going on here as this rockets past Tomo like an RPG-7. There we go. What a move there from the McLaren. He sent it down the inside into turn 1. Got it on the exit of turn 2. And that is 6th place for the McLaren. Good move there. He is, of course, on those soft tyres. So they're going to be faster than the mediums for the time being. And this 2-stop strategy might work out for Lewis because he'll be on fresher mediums compared to everyone else at the end of the race. And they'll be softer than some of the drivers who are on the hards. So that will be good luck for him. If you have any missiles, do let me know in the comments. Those 10 seconds will be removed. Alright then. If we ignore the 10 seconds then, let's have a look. Drop yay on Kryptonite. He's trying to get the switch back here, but he can't quite manage it. So let's stick with the Renault, and he's going to cruise past like a cruise missile. Okay, that was a bad one, but he's got the position is what I'm trying to say before he even really had to activate DRS. He just had a much better exit out of the hairpin. And that's going to be 4th place for him. And I think the Ginger is in the pit lane. That is a sentence I never thought I'd say. But Paga just outside of 10 seconds from Dougie. And that will be the net lead. But Droppier closing behind Paga. Chat, I don't know what I'd do without you, to be fair. Like, there's some things I miss. I just get so tunnel vision, do you know what I mean? I can only concentrate on so many things, but thanks for pointing that out. And that means we can ignore that 10-second penalty and let it go back down to regular racing. We just had a nice ASMR sip of water there for you. Hope you like that sound. But you probably don't. So, deal with it. But anyway, it's not been a good race for some drivers. In fact, let's have a look at position change at this stage in the race. It's been a great race for Spag and Kryptonite. They've both made up 10 positions. Then the Ginger and Cohen have both made up 8 positions. Paga will, once Dougie Falcons has pitted, he will have made no positions because he started on pole. You can only really lose positions here as Lewis overtakes Kryptonite because Kryptonite has decided to do a tyre change. And yeah, some drivers not having a great race. Those bottom 3 all losing 5 positions since the start, as has Deneen. So some drivers it's not been great, some others it's been excellent for them. Alright then, let's have a look at the rest of the drivers because Lewis will be pitting again. And when he does pit, he will drop down the order. In fact, it's nice having the tyres up, I think. And people are always asking for them. So let's leave them up for now. But these gaps have extended a significant amount. So we'll have to wait for one of them to close down a bit. And it looks like Spaghetti Chips is closing up to Deneen. Does Deneen have damage? Because he is just losing... It doesn't look like he's got any damage, but he's just losing time at an exponential rate. And it looks like Spag might be able to do it on the straight. I'm not quite sure. Can he get the exit? He's in 8th. Can he get 7th? He is gaining speed and he's going to pass it like a jet fighter. Oh, I forgot to say what kind of jet fighter though. So I have messed that one up. And I ran out of missiles to say because there's only so many. I can think of others actually. And that's oversteer for Deneen, and he's spun out of turn 1, and he's absolutely bottled it. He's on the marble, and he's lost the position to Cohen, who's not pitted yet. That is not good for the Toro Rosso. He's going to try and get past, but he's clipped the grass as well, and he's just lost buckets of time there. The Verstappen has closed up as well as we get the helicopter camera angle, and this is Ferrari helicopter all over again. Honestly. Through turn 5. Here comes Verstappen. He'll be closing up to Deneen. And I'll have a look at these comments in just a second, but I think we're going to have to wait for an overtake at some point, and it might actually be coming from Drop. So let's get that ready, and I'll have a look at the comments on the marble, just the one. You got me there. But Verstappen, like a Eurofighter Typhoon, goes up to Deneen. But is Deneen an F15? It looks like it because he's not going to be able to get past. But Dropia has overtaken Paga for the net lead. Although Paga has gotten it back, there may have been an illegal overtake. So sorry we've had to leave that battle, but we're going to have a look at the battle for the lead. No, we're not, because we're going to have a look at this battle instead, because Deneen has made a mistake into turn 1 yet again, and he's down to 10th. Can Verstappen get him on the exit, though? They're going to be side by side. It is so close. Sorry you had to skip between these two battles, but it looks like the Ferrari has got past Deneen. And it's just not going well for the Toro Rosso. The Toro Rosso team just not having very good races, to be honest. Verstappen is closing up, but we'll go to Dropier now through turn 10 because we might be able to see an overtake along the straight. It is the Red Boat versus the Red Bull. Will the Bull roll or will the boat float? Let's have a look. It looks like the boat is going to take the lead. He's going to list to the outside as into turn 13 we go. He's got the position, keeping out of the wall of champions. Has Paga done the same thing? It looks like it heading towards turn 2 now, or turn 1 even. Dropier actually cruising away with that as Verstappen has overtaken Cohen actually on the straight, and Deneen is not giving up though. He's right up the gearbox of the Rocket, and he's going to move to the outside like an AGM7, and he's going to go down the inside to take the position, although he's not going to be able to hold on to it because they're side by side on the exit. Can Quaver, Cohen, Blige get the position? No, he can't, and Dropier has managed to take that off of the Williams. Can he hold on to it though? That is the question. This battle for 8 is rather intense, and it is getting very, very spicy. Now that Dougie Falcons has pitted as well, everyone, I believe, has made their pit stops. Actually, Cohen and Game Boys, the two Williams, yet to pit, and that is evident by how rapidly Cohen is losing time to Deneen and Co. Let's go back up to Paga and Dropier. Dropier trying to keep up his clean sheet of winning. Currently in first. Can he increase that position? I'm not entirely sure. Lap 19 of 35. We are past the halfway point, well and truly then. And we can look forward to quite some laps of racing because Alice Killer is actually closing up behind Cohen, Blige towards turn 1 then. Could we see a move from either of these drivers? Down the inside goes the Racing Point into turn 1. It looks like he's got the position. Yes, he has. And that will be 10th place, just inside the points now for Alice Gillett, of course. Kern and Game Boys yet to do their pit stop. CJ6 getting a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. There's yellow flags in sector 3 as CJ has retired from the session. Has he crashed? Actually, has he crashed in the pits? We'll have a look at Dropier. We'll see if we can see the remainder of his car just along the straight, although it probably will have been cleared by the time we get to it, unfortunately. It'll be interesting to see what happened, though. Maybe he'll tell us when he rejoins. And I think the stewards or the marshals must have cleared the wreckage, because I don't see no car on the inside there. But the Ginger on Tomo, side by side, down the inside, into turn 13 he goes. And he's got the position, and he's just going to be outside the top 3 for now. But of course, Lewis has yet to pit. The Ginger is actually, his tyres are 5 laps fresher than Tomo's, and that has probably assisted in him cruising through the final turn there. Absolutely excellent move there. But the reason I call this track the Chicane Grand Prix is because every single turn bar 2, and I don't really count turn 5 as a turn, but I definitely don't count turns 11 and 12 as turns. Every turn bar turn 10 is a chicane. But followed closely by Canada, I'd have to say, is Melbourne, because that is definitely quite heavy on the chicanes, whoever designed at Albert Park. But anyway, we've got Kryptonite closing up behind KVIFC Game Boys into turn 6. No, he can't. He's going to have to back off there. Josh Mayer getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Those time penalties might be the deciding factor for quite a few drivers' races tonight, just due to the proximity of each other. Game Boys on the hard tyres. He's going to be defending for his life. Of course, they're both on hard tyres, but Game Boys are nearly 15 laps older. Towards turn 10 then, and Lewis finally makes his pit stop. Game Boys has run wide though, and it's going to be side by side along the straight, and there's contact between the two drivers. The slipstream ERS and DRS activated for Kryptonite, and you can just see how immediately that boosted him, and that is going to put him well and truly ahead. As there goes into the pits Game Boys, who might go onto the mediums now, so it looks like the hards to mediums is the strategy tonight. Alice going on to the softs. Is he going to be able to get those to the end of the race? That might have been a poor strategy. No, he's on the mediums. I was going to say that would be a poor strategy call. Lewis down to 8th then after pitting on those softs with the medium stint. That was an interesting strategy for the McLaren driver, actually. I didn't expect to see that one tonight. He might be able to make it work though, because he can really push for these last 14 laps. Or 15 laps, because the mediums can definitely make it that far. Yeah, it looks like lots of drivers due to the pit around the same time. That was one big salvo. And everyone who pitted went on to the mediums, interestingly enough. Not really interestingly, they're the only ones that can make it to the end at this point. They're worth making it to the end on. But just ahead is Denin and Verstappen. This gap rather close. Will it get closer? Because Paga, actually, he pitted again. And dropped the 8. He needs to take those tyres a bit further. Will he be able to do it? Let me know your top 3 predictions in the comments down below, because there goes Denin into the pits as well. He's going for a second stop, it looks like. He might have damage though, so that might explain it, because that would be his second stop, I believe, yeah. Let's have a look at Spaghetti Chips though, because he's close behind Tomo. This is for the podium, temporarily. Depends how well Paga can overtake, that is. But Spaghetti Chips is not too far behind as we head out of turn 7 through towards turn 8. Spaghetti Chips just 2 tenths behind. He did have the DRS along that straight. Of course, 3 DRS straights in this track. But Spaghetti Chips is definitely conserving that ERS. He's activating it now as we head towards turn 10. He's going to try and get himself as much of a boost as possible, as Tomo has actually got his ERS on 0. He's going to wang it all the way up to mode 5 though. It's not been the greatest exit for the Renault. Along the straight then, we could see a double podium finish for the banana coloured team. Through turns 13 and 14, it doesn't look like Spaghetti Chips is going to be able to make a move, but Tomo going into the pits then. So yeah, definitely a second salvo of pit stops has been set off, and that's going to beg the question, where's everyone going to come out and what tyres are they going to go on to? And that's a bit of a tap with the barrier for Lewis. Paga getting a time penalty for multiple warnings, and that's not going to help him in his battle to get back up to drop his position. Through turn 2 we go then. Lewis is very close behind the Ferrari. I don't think he's going to be able to make an overtake though. He is 2 tenths behind, but that's 2 tenths too much to make an overtake. Of course, you want to be as close as possible when throwing it around the inside, and he's going to do that through turn 6 then. Can he get the position? He's outbroken the Ferrari. He's on softer tyres, and he's matched his tyres are also 11 laps fresher. Paga is going to be looking to get past Verstappen as well, who's also on fresh tyres. Exactly the same age as Lewis is. That's going to be a battle between them as Josh Mayer sets the fast lap with a 1:10.5. Absolutely smashing Rubens Barrichello's time out of the park. It is becoming a bit overcast though, but I don't think we're going to see any rain this evening as side by side goes Paga and Verstappen on the exit. Paga has got that position, and I think he's going to be able to hold on to it following that overtake. And it's also very dark outside, I've just noticed. Side by side though, towards turn 13, it's not all lost for Verstappen, although now it is. It's become all sunny again, so that was just a little scare as time penalty for Spaghetti Chips for cutting corners. And now it's going to be a 1-3 for the Renault team. Can they make it a 1-2? They're both stretching their medium tyres though. Can they take them another 10 laps? Or will they have to pit onto the soft? That is the real question this evening. Can they do the overcut? Or is this going to be the end of Dropier's streak? Or maybe Dropier's too fast and he needs to be moved up to ILR2. That's always a consideration. I think if he manages to win this race, I reckon we'll have to move him up to ILR2 because he just has absolute mad pace, especially for ILR3. But Josh Mayer getting a time penalty as Paga is close behind Lewis. These two drivers on exactly the same tyres. Paga is closing up there. You can see Verstappen just in the background behind them. Heading along the back straight there. Can the Red Bull get the position as Campbell gets a time penalty as well towards turn 13? Not quite close enough there for the Red Bull. They're heading out of turn 14. He's got the DRS. There's 3 DRS straights along here. Some more powerful than others though, you have to admit, especially the back straight. I'm not sure about between turns 7 and 8. I'm not sure how effective that DRS is. It's quite risky to make an overtake into a chicane. Every overtake you're going to make around this track is into a chicane, unless it's the hairpin. But then again, it's all about the exit, which involves the straight, which leads into a chicane. So there really is no escape from the chicanes here in Canada. I don't really know where I was going with that, I'll be honest. But, you know, I don't know. Let's have a quick look at the comments. Oh, he got demoted. So he's in a middle ground then, Dropier. He's too fast for ILR3, but then not fast enough for ILR2, it looks like. So it looks like he might just be able to have the championship in the bag for him. Although we still do have 13 races, 14 races, I want to say, till the end of the season. So there's all to play for still, unless he manages to win every single race. If he can win this, he'll get 100 points in the championship in total. And it would have been a clean sweep for his season anyway. Apart from the races he did not start, which were rounds 1, 2 and 3. But they're kind of irrelevant now because Paga is trying to get past Lewis. He's really struggling though. He just can't get quite close enough. Of course, Dirtier is not going to be helping him either. Spaghetti Chips and the Ginger. Spag is closing up, but he's closing up slowly and steadily. But you know what they say. Slow and steady wins the race. The tortoise and the hare. So Spaghetti Chips, his tyres are 3 laps older, and it looks like those, if they can stretch their tyres to the end, they might have their races in the bag. They're heading along the straight now. This is Paga's chance to make an overtake. He's going to go for a later apex than Lewis and try and get the power down early. He's had a better wheel spin though, and Lewis has managed to absolutely rocket away from him. Of course, he has a couple of extra ERS modes compared to Paga. Paga really struggling with ERS right now. He's very low batteries as Dropier is the first to pit. So does Spaghetti. No, Spaghetti Chips is going to take the lead temporarily. The Ginger also pitting. Where's Dropier going to come out of the pits then? He's going to be able to skip turn 1 and he'll go straight back into turn 2. Can he get ahead of Paga? The overcut has worked, but he's going to come out side by side with Lewis. Can Dropier get the position? Heading towards turn 3 and 4. This is really interesting. Through turn 4 then. It looks like he's just about got the position, but Lewis is not going to let that one go so easily. Into turn 6. Down the inside he goes. What a move there by the McLaren, but he's not going to be able to get the position quite. He's side by side, and there's oversteer, and he's crashed into Paga. Yes, and that's Paga also in the barrier. How much damage is there for that Red Bull? He is going to be angry about that because that front wing damage is very severe, and that has ruined Paga's prospects of a podium. A lot of alliteration for you there. And Paga's going to have to be pit again, and he's going to be absolutely furious with Lewis. Oh, that is unfortunate for him. Spaghetti Chips might have to pit as well this lap. Let's have a look at where he is. Yeah, there he goes. He's crawling into the pit lane there. Doesn't want to get a time penalty. But Paga is going to have to go straight into the pits. There's no way he can continue. Lewis also going into the pits because he's had penalty. Nearly contact between them there. But I know Paga must be absolutely raging. Dougie now with a 4-second lead against Dropier with 7 laps to go. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He's on hard tyres, which are 10 laps older than Dropier's. Dropier's are also on the softs. So it's going to be likely that Dropier can get past. He's already gained half a second. It's all about overtaking, though, because it's all well and good catching up, but making the overtake is where racing comes into the strategy. As Ginger cutting the corner a bit there. He's going to move to the inside of Tomo into turn 8. He's got the DRS, ERS. No slipstream now because he's pulled to the inside, and he's going to get the position there. We saw that unfold so just before our eyes. And that's Kryptonite, though. Kryptonite has had a bit of an issue, and he's in the barrier. He's done exactly what Lewis did, and that is absolute disappointment there for the Alfa Romeo driver. With 5 drivers out of the race. They've still got 15 to finish, as this is just about going to get past Kryptonite. There's no point in those two racing. It's overcast a bit, but there's definitely no chance of rain. As Dropier heads through turn 2, closing up to Dougie Falcons at an absolutely exponential rate. He's already gained about 2 seconds on him. So yeah, Dropier really has the pace, especially with these soft tyres. They're just rapid around this track, and rapid in general, to be honest. Alice has got a time penalty though, 3 seconds worth, as Kryptonite does go into the pits. He'll probably go into the softs. So lots of drivers going for the 2 soft strategy. It looks like that was the most popular this evening. It's all about Dougie now. Can he get himself second place on the podiums, or will it be just outside for him? Can he hold on to that podium or not? That is the real question. It's all about time penalties. Can Spaghetti Chips catch up to Tomo and the Ginger, as well as Dropier? That is also another big question as we enter the final stages of the race with just 6 laps to go then. It is approaching the end of the race because we have a look at Alice Killer, who's very close behind Verstappen. We're right on board with these two as we head along the back straight. Dropier is closing up to Dougie Falcons, but we'll look at this because we might actually be able to see an overtake right now. The Racing Point closing up rapidly to Verstappen. He's going to pull to the outside. Oh, Verstappen more going to a defensive inside line. He might go for the switchback here, though. Can he get the exit? It doesn't look like he's been able to plant the throttle as he would have liked. Deneen's trying to close up now. He's going to take a sniff down the inside. He's also going to send it. But he's not going to be able to make the position there, closing up behind Alice Kelly. He might go for the switchback. He had to back off, though, and that's going to cost him some time. There's not really much point looking at Dropier because he's definitely going to get that position off Dougie. But it's all down to Spag. Can Renault get a double podium this evening as we go into turn 6? Alice Killer's going to go for a switchback move on the Ferrari. Can he make it work for 6th place on lap 30 of 35? It doesn't look like it, but we will have DRS and DRS to help him as we head along the straight towards turn 8. Will we see a move here? Not quite close enough, but as we head along through turn 10, it's all about the straight following turn 10, I'll have to admit, because that is when we're going to see any overtakes from these drivers, because the DRS train will be in full force as Kryptonite gets a 3-second time penalty. It's a better exit for Verstappen, but he won't have DRS. And here comes Alice Killer. He's going to pull to the outside. That his tires are 1 step softer and 11 laps fresher, and he's got the position. And Drop has overtaken Dougie, and he's pulled away by 1.5 seconds already, unless, of course, Dougie had some kind of damage. As Deneen also makes a move on Verstappen as they go side by side into turn 1, or out of turn 2. Verstappen is still defending very well. Number 78 Ferrari, but he's not well enough, and he's had to back off there from Deneen. It looked like there was a bit of argy-bargy between them, wheel-to-wheel action. I'm not complaining, though, because that is some excellent racing. Now, Spaghetti Chips with 4 laps to go, 3.5 maybe, or 4.5. Oh, it always baffles me how the laps work, but anyway. Spaghetti Chips with at least 4 laps to go. Heading towards turn 13. He's 1.5 seconds off Tomo, who's 2 seconds off the Ginger. Tomo, of course, is on medium tyres, whereas Spaghetti Chips is on soft and also 5-lap fresher tyres. But the Ginger is on the same tyres as Spaghetti Chips, and they're only 1 lap older, so it's going to be close. See if Spag can get on the podium, or we might have the podium fixed already. Do let me know in the comments, because we're already on lap 32 of 35 as Lewis makes an overtake on QVR Cohen Blige. Cohen just about in the points playing positions, the PPPs as I like to call them, but Paga might be making a mess of that for him, because up ahead we can see this battle unfolding between Verstappen and Deneen, as well as Paga on Cohen. He goes to the inside. He's not going to be able to make a move though. That was just a cheeky little sniff through turn 5 then. A bit of oversteer on the exit of turn 4 though. He's going to try and send it down the inside into turn 6. Yes, he does, but he's had to back off yet again, and Cohen is really holding him up now. There's a second between them and Lewis, but Lewis is now just a 10th off Verstappen. Verstappen still managing to defend just by pulling to the inside. He's managed to use probably lower wing attack angle to help him have that straight line speed, but it looks like Lewis might be able to make the overtake through turn 10. He's sent it a bit deep though, and Verstappen might be able to try and get him on the exit. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to though. Lap 33 of 35 though. Lewis is closing up to Deneen. Is he going to be close enough to make a move? It doesn't look like it. Spaghetti Chips on the other hand is right behind Tomo, and this is for 4th position. Having a little sip of water before the final bout. Lap 33 of 35. Spaghetti Chips trying to get past someone. He's going to move to the inside for turn 6. Down the inside he goes. Can he get the position? He's still 3 seconds off the Ginger. They're side by side on the exit. Can he get the position? Yes, he can. Can he hold on to it is another question though, because Tomo is still prominently on the inside, but he's not going to be able to. 3.5 seconds for Spag to make up in just 2 laps. I don't think he's going to be able to do it though, unfortunately for him. He's just not going to be able to get that podium. And it looks like Renault's going to have to wait for another day. Although Dropgate is still going to be able to try and get a win. As up ahead, the Ginger goes down the inside of Dougie Falcons to take second position even. As we go on to the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix here in Canada. That was a good move there from the Ginger. Of course, his tyres are less than half of the age of Dougie's, as well as 2 steps softer. Of course, is on the soft tyres. It is very overcast now. You might even see a little speck of rain towards the end, but I did say earlier that there is definitely no chance of rain, and I think I'm going to have to stick by that, because although it is overcast, I don't think there's going to be enough time in just 1 or 2 laps for the rain to come down. We saw it in qualifying though, and I think that was as wet enough as the drivers wanted it. Although, as some people might say, it's never wet enough, but that all depends on where you are right now. But Paga is right up the chuff of Deneen. He's going to move to the inside, hoping that's not wet, and he's going to try and get the position. And yes, he has. He's got 8th place off of the sister team at Toro Rosso. But Spaghetti Chips is 2 seconds off Dougie, with the final lap looming into view now. A bit of oversteer there for the Red Bull, so that's not all lost for Deneen. He might be able to get a move done along the straight. Spaghetti Chips is clearing off Tomo, but 2 laps as we are on the final lap of the race for the leader anyway. Dropgate has had an excellent race so far, but we'll get to that when we get to it, because we've still got at least a minute left before we have to get onto that topic, as there's yellow flags in sectors 2 and 3, and Alice Giller gets a 3-second time penalty. I don't know why that's happened though. And a bit of front wing damage along the straight. And look at this DRS train. because Deneen is certainly not giving up. He's definitely just about holding on to ninth even, not third. But that DRS really helping him. On the other hand, though, let's get up to the top, though, because Spaghetti Chips is 8/10 off of the Alfa Romeo of Dougie Falcons. He might be able to get on the straight. You never know as they head in towards turn 10 for the final time this evening. Let's go with Dropier, though, because he's led the race from practically start to finish. He's had the strategy. He's had the pace. And has he got the checkered flag? Yes, he has. He's going to take the lead if we ignore that 10-second time penalty. Across the line then. And the checkered flag there for Dropier. 7 seconds behind him is the Ginger. 21-21 to take second. Then Dougie Falcons is in third. And then Spaghetti Chips in fourth. Just about missing out on that position. They both had time penalties. Tomo in fifth. Then Alice Killer heading across the line to take sixth this evening. And what a Grand Prix that has been. Lewis across the line, followed closely by Paga and Deneen, as Alice Killer has a load of time penalties. QVR as Cohen also makes it past them. There's so many time penalties. There goes Josh Mayer. Then QVR Game Boys overtaking him. And the last person across the line will be QVR Campbell, but he's not even made it to the final turn yet. But look at that, just 300s in it at the top of the leaderboard and 500s in it between 7th and 8th. But it's going to be the win for Dropier. He's going to be very, very happy with that. And he continues his clean sweep of ILR3, winning his 4th race in a row and his 4th race this season that he's actually raced in. My, oh my, oh my. Do let me know in the comments if you have any questions for the podium finishers, because I'll be sure to ask them. If you see what I did there. That was bad, but we'll let the drivers celebrate on the podium. 2 Dutch and a British driver on the bottom step. Owen Wyatt has left the session. But the finishing order is going to be Dropier 519, the Ginger 21-21, Dougie Falcons 97, Spaghetti Chips D43, Tomo Lewis 11004, QVR Co-Obliged, LR Deneen 6-9s, Pagan there 21, Verstappen RB 33, Alex Skinner 150, QVR FC Game Boys, Josh Mayer, QVR Campbell and Kryptonite rounds off the finishing. Then the DNS were CJ60 and Wyatt 15, TNR, Pedro Calm Racer and Lawman's. What a race. Everyone with time penalties, bar Game Boys, Cohen and a few other drivers. And Lewis, just 3 drivers making it without penalties there. That's quite impressive. Of course, it's very easy to cut here, but Dropier just about doing a race in under 43 minutes. Verstappen has also left the session, so let's invite those top 3. So obviously we'll invite Dropier, and I've already forgotten who the podium finishers were. So it's Dropier. Oh my god. I've already forgotten. Dougie and who else? Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let's have a quick search. Alright, never mind. The party is not going to work. So we'll ignore the podium interviews this time around. But my Wi-Fi decided it's not going to work if I click the home button. But anyway guys, I'm going to leave you there. I've been Barless, and I hope you enjoyed the race in ILR3 tonight. It has been absolutely fantastic. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.